Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage. So last time we were in the garage, we got the cab mounted onto the frame, and then we ran into some issues down here with the cab mounts and kind of where we're going to start putting our main hoop for our cage. We'll get into that in a minute, but today I should say, our bender arrived. I still have to make a mount for it because we're just going to mount it to the garage floor. So in preparation for that, I started cleaning up a little bit. I know it doesn't look like much, but last night I reassembled the engine for the truck just to get all the parts kind of in one place. So I put the head back on, changed the valve springs out because we had our high RPM Hamilton valve springs and retainers in there. So I just put the stock ones back in. I tried to do it on the floor here, but it was actually lifting up the head with the valve spring compressor. So I just put the head on here and did it on the engine itself. I cleaned all the surfaces up. I actually threw the gasket back in there just as like a placeholder, I guess. I don't know. But just figured that way, that's how it's normally supposed to be, whatever. Ran the head bolts down snug and, you know, just reassembled everything to get it all in one piece, and then we can just put it somewhere in the garage here for now. I've been trying to get rid of this thing. So if anybody's interested, let me know. I could take it to Freedom for $2,500 for a core, but I think it's worth more than that. At least it is to me. Maybe we could put this in a project down the road. I don't know, because I still think this is a good engine, and I think it would be interesting to do something with the engine that made that thing go 1019. So did that, got the plastics back on the four-wheeler, had a couple other things put back on a four-wheeler because I had pulled the clutch cover off because it's still not acting right, but it does run and drive, so we can get that up in the shed. So we're just trying to clean things up. That way we can mount the bender on the floor here in the garage and just try and have a nice work area so we can try and, I want to say bang this thing out, but just try and make the work area as nice as possible, because as you guys can tell, I am completely opposite of that normally. I'm just very messy and shit just ends up everywhere through the course of my working. It's just the way I am. So anyhow, guys, onto these mounts. So as you can see, they're currently not in there, and actually the truck is sitting a little low. I have a couple wood blocks on either side supporting it just on the cab. I did climb up in there and it is still stable. So what I think I am going to do, the decision I've made, there's no thinking about, well, there was a lot of thinking about it, but the decision I've made, because the cage we want to come down around here, I'm going to get rid of this factory cab mount on the frame, and our outrigger for our main hoop for our cage is going to be in this area. So what we'll do is we'll actually cut this mount down so it's just the threaded hole, and we will either let me start over. So we're going to cut this mount out and our outrigger will be in this area. So what we'll do is cut this mount, the mounting area down from the cab here, and off of our outrigger we'll actually make a mount to, you know, just bolt up to the cab itself. So our cab will actually be mounted to the outrigger of our cage. I guess that's legal. I don't see why it wouldn't. If whatever reason we can't pass, we'll just have to make something off of the frame itself. I don't think it'll be a big deal, but we'll get rid of this big heavy thing on both sides and start cutting this down. So then when we get our bender, get everything all set up, we can put our main hoop in and a real fun can begin. Also, we'll be losing these cab mounts, which have a little bit of weight to them. So, hey, we'll have a little bit of savings there for weight. Get rid of some more metal. I'm sure that metal on the frame of the truck is kind of heavy. Also, today, when I left work, I just went straight to Muldoon's, dropped our transmission off. So that way John and the guys can look over it. I don't suspect there are any issues with the trans, but I also want them to go through it, just look at everything and see if there's anything we can upgrade to make this thing stronger, since we are planning on making substantially more power next year. And surprising enough, there's another guy there that you guys might know. He was doing a little work to his truck, but I guess you guys will be, most of you will be able to figure that out. So anyway, drop that off, and we're just gonna give the trans a little checkup and hopefully beef it up. So that's kind of our game plan for tonight, is get rid of this stuff. So once we get our bender set up, I'm hopefully gonna get tube tomorrow, and then we can get started on this cage project and maybe get this thing, you know, starting to become a truck again. This has been a lot longer process than I ever thought it would be. Once again, that cab just kind of got away from me. So got everything kind of cleaned up as best I really could under here. I didn't touch the mount since we haven't 100% decided what we're going to do. I'll actually probably cut it down if we leave it, cut it down a little more, and maybe box it in. We'll see how it is. But I need to clean up the frame still. But getting in those tight corners was just a complete mother. As you guys can see, I got the menagerie of grinders and all that out again. A couple spot welds we had to drill here, but yeah, we got a little more metal out. And honestly, these factory mounts, they really don't weigh that awful much. I mean, it all adds up. Whatever we put in will certainly be lighter and more roomy for our cage, which is the important part at this time. So like I said, we got them blocks in there for now. What I'm thinking is we might even just leave, you know, weld in a block there later. That way we can mount the cab, you know, up there as well, or something of that fashion. I haven't really decided yet, like I said, but yeah, just trying to clear some room. Now we can definitely come out of here with our outriggers and take care of all that. Clean up the frame. We'll have to get into that tomorrow. Hopefully we get our tubing and all, so we can get this bending process and this cage started. Really, that's the thing that I'm worried about, or it's not so much worried about, but I'm just curious how long it's going to take. I know it's going to be slow to begin with, but I think once we get that main hoop in and get a couple of couple fish mounts on the tube done and fitted up well, you know, things will start to progress from there. So we're making progress, back to some cutting and grinding, but it's a necessary evil. Our paint job underneath there in the back will certainly have to be redone, but it's what it is. I mean, if we could have thought of this before, we would have taken care of it, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll check you guys on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrench in on your truck.